Okay. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the class, The Power of My Name. And instructor Anna Romanenko will be leading the class. It is very nice to have you. This is a Neurogragraphica class, and Neurogragraphica is a technique for changing your state of mind, but also growing your inner state. And it's very easy to do. Everybody can do it. We offer classes and courses. The basic level course is where you start if you want to learn Neurogragraphica. But in this class, everybody can participate. This algorithm is Anna Romanenko's property. She's author of this class, and if you want to use it, you can contact us for more information. You need to have permission. For the membership club, we have a chat in Telegram where you can communicate with other members and share your drawings. The information is on the website when you log in, or you can send me a message. How many of you, very quickly, if you prefer to communicate on Telegram, can you type 1? If you prefer Facebook, can you type 2? I just want to know how many people are on Telegram and how many are on Facebook. Okay. Okay. Thank you. And thank you so much. Okay, so most of people are on Facebook. Okay, so we'll start a Facebook group for the membership program, and I will email the information. And that's it from me. Have a wonderful class, Anna.
Okay, thank you, Nat. This is not my personal class. This is something that I've learned, and it was very powerful. I learned it for working with children. And as longer I live, the more I see that nothing has changed. Children, adults, elder people, we still have the same traumatized experiences. We still have the same energies and memories about something. And everything that is related to self-representation, our name, our face, our shape, our clothes, everything is emotional, and everything carry on our resources, our wounds, and our powers. So today we are going to work with the name. We will look, I adjusted the class to make it my own. So we will look for who is behind different names, and what the energy we receive, and how we can use the energy and resources to move forward, not look back, but look forward in our life. So before we start, I invite you to find an object on your table, in your room, just any object that you want to, that is comfortable for you to hold during the session. Just any object. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be a toy, it could be a ball. Like I picked this wooden doll. Before going to something emotional, we need a resource. We need something that will help us to be supported, to feel supported. So I want you just to look at your object and just say that you will represent my resource, the energy of resource. We don't know what it is. We don't want to analyze, give any bigger meanings. We just need to invite any energy that will be supporting in gentle way us through emotional experiences. Because some of the memories from childhood can be awoken, some memories about your relationship with parents can be awoken. So we need to have a resource before going so deep. And of course, just feel it in your hand, how this resource is it comfortable for you to hold the resource? And you may even find which part of the body you want to hold it towards. Is it close to your heart, maybe just in your hands, or maybe to your stomach, because the resource could be needed in different parts of your body. So this is just energy. So which part of your body you want to use this energy. Mine is going closer to the solar plexus somehow. And I trust this feeling. So I just hold it and feel that I'm not alone, that I'm supported, and I'm fully present for the process. And just take deep inhale, deep exhale. Put your feet on the ground, feel the texture of the floor. And whenever emotions will be too much or too intense, you can always take your resource in your hand and just recharge you. Just allow this be your guide through the process. So you don't feel lost, you don't feel without energy, that this is just gives you energy. And maybe some other meanings will come to you later, but right now we need energy to go through the process. Now I'm going to switch the camera. If you have any questions, I hope that you will be active in chat and ask questions. If you have something long and you want my support, if anything really awakening, don't hesitate to turn on your microphone and ask, because I understand how this process could be roller coaster of emotions, and I'm here to support you through the process. So we're going to start it very gently, but we'll see what is awakening. And please be gentle to yourself. Have a water next to you, have maybe a blanket, because again, we are going far back. We're going to the childhood, to the teenage experiences, to younger age, and so there anything can be awakening. So we need to have your comfortable surroundings. Make sure that the temperature in your room is comfortable for you. Okay, so let me switch the camera and we just start drawing, because we have 2 hours to go through the process. So we are going, the paper could be horizontal or vertical, it doesn't matter. There will be no specific image that we are going to create, nothing that like look like a tree or flower. It will be very abstract, and at the end it will be almost everything dissolved, but you can move, rotate your paper any way you want, any way you feel comfortable. And next step that we always do, choose the color that you will draw your lines. You can use black marker, or today for some reason I want, like, I trust my feelings, so today I want to draw my lines with a red marker. So I prepared red colors, bolder marker for field lines, and fine lines for all other narrow lines. You can choose any color that you feel that will resonate with your emotional process. But all lines will be this color. Okay. And next step, I invite you to say out loud for yourself your full maiden name, the name that you were born with. Like if you have a first name, middle name, and last name, the way it was given to you on your birth certificate. Just say it out loud so you can hear it, because it has some rhythm, it has some melody in the name. So just say my full name is, and do it in your native language, the way it was given to you. So I will adjust even most of my names were given me in Russian. I will adjust it, but I will pronounce it in Russian for me, so I can be actively participating in the emotional process. So my maiden name is Anna Alexandrovna Kartashova. So this long name, and just feel what kind of emotions awakening for you. What's happening in your body. Maybe you will feel like, oh, I miss this name. This sounds good. This sounds authentic. Just feel what is happening. And now on your paper, find the place where this name belongs. Would just find energetically where on this paper this name belongs, your full maiden name. And you take your marker. Interesting, it belongs here for me. And find, trust your feelings, trust your body, trust your hand, and draw a shape that represent this name. Just any shape. It could be circle, it could be square, it could be spiky star, triangle. Don't afraid any shape. Just give this name visual representation. And just looking on your shape, you can say this is a softer reaction, or maybe defending, aggressive if it's spiky and very active shape. And you can fully write down the name. I invite you to use this just regular pencil that could be erased if you want, just regular pencil that to write down the name. My full maiden name in your native language, so you can read it later. If we use the same marker, it will be needed to integrate every line, and it will be completely dissolved. But I want you to remember those names. They are part of you. We are going to create your emotional, the portrait of your emotions, the portrait of your memories, of your self-representation. And I just write down the name and last name. And you may notice that looking at the visual effect of this name starts awakening emotions. What do you feel about this name? How do you feel about it? What kind of feelings, emotions it's representing for you? For me, I feel like nostalgia. I miss this name somehow. I don't use this name already for over 20 years, and I still miss it. I just write down here my feelings, nostalgia. Oops, here's my pencil. And just look at the name, feel it, and ask yourself, is there anybody who named you, who gave you this name? Was it your parent or was it somebody else who suggested the name? Are there any people behind this name? Maybe there is a people who have exactly the same name, like first name, or maybe the whole first and last name. Maybe there is a family tradition that was choosing your name. Usually the name is something that we carry on from birth to death. And in some cultures, it's a biggest rituals and traditions about choosing name for babies. So it's never just random name. It's always, there is some meaning behind it. There is a story behind it. And if you have people behind your name, like your grandparents or your parents, like sometimes it's specifically my father named me or my mother named me. Draw this person behind your name just as a support. They participated. Like I will put my grandma, because my grandma, my mother's mom, was named the same, Anna. So and I put it I write in Russian because this is how I evoke my emotions. And I just see, like, if this person overlap with your shape or they just gently touch each other. This is how we entangled with those people, how we really use the energy, how we really close to each other. The shape can go beyond. It doesn't have to be fully present on, because we know the rule about Neurographika. Anything could be extended, the paper could be extended, and it doesn't have a firm boundary. So we can extend paper and just continue the drawing if we need. See the presence. How do you feel about this presence? What kind of emotions? What kind of shape of this person? Again, like, is there longing? Is there any support? Is there any fight between these people? Just observe. Who named you? What's the story behind your name? Like the maiden name, the birth name. It could be completely different from what you have right now. Like I see many stories about changing name completely. And is there any other stories behind your name? Maybe there is some, by the way, the people who can be naming you, it could be random people, like, oh, because I like this actor, we named this person as the name of this actor or this character in the book. So see if there is any stories behind it, because this story was so emotional for your parents or for your that they decided to carry on this emotion with you. So my story was not very emotional, but my mom wanted to give me a unique name. And it's like, it's really funny because Anna is anything but unique name. It's one of the most common in the world. And but she felt like it wasn't so common at the time when I was born, and she was surprised when 3 of other girls in the neighborhood was named the same name as I am. So she wanted me to be unique and gave me the most common name. So this is a very interesting contrast in her desires. And this is my story of my name. So what is the story behind your name? And again, you can choose any shape. I draw the circles because it feels like for me as a circle, but yours could be spiky stories. Maybe it could be some feelings not as cheerful behind it. And I start rounding because I don't want to awake too many emotions. I want just go slower and gentler and just try to integrate as I go. We will add more lines later, but right now we want to make like the map of our life. So this is my maiden name. If there is any meaning of your name, there is interesting, okay, we have a comment. My mom was Natalia Olga Harishny, and her children were Kathy, Pam, and Chris. Okay, good. I don't know, like probably it's some kind of characters, like, but yeah. For my story that I was named, my mom named me as her mom. So she gave a birth to her mom, like energetically, so imposing the energy. So this is another story that I'm carrying on. So that's why first thing that I invited is grandma, that I was named as well. Exotic to plain. Okay, yes, yeah. Because there could be so much emotions about being exotic, especially in the community where traditions are very well respected. And be exotic in such traditional community could be like a black sheep, and it could be challenging. So she gave as plain as possible so that children don't have to face it. Next, we are going to, what is your name right now? What is your full name? If you changed your name at any point, you can write down, say it out loud. For example, my full name right now is, like right now, most of the time I'm named as Anna Romanenko. And this is, and I just say it, and how completely different from very Russian name, very traditional Russian name, I become something completely foreign. Like this is the whole story between your names, so what you are born with and how you're named right now. You can see the biggest leap. Legal name or the name we go by, the most common for you, something that people are usually call you. Because my legal name, I still have a Russian legal name, I still have a English legal name, but I never, like very rarely use them, only when I'm filing my taxes. So we don't want to be so official, but what's your most common name for you right now? And find the place where it belongs. Again, where's your current name belongs? And give it a shape. And my shape will be triangle, which surprised me. And I write down my name that I'm mostly called right now. And what do you feel about it? What kind of emotions, feelings, or maybe motivate, or maybe your name motivates to do something? My name sounds and feels to me as a very dynamic name. And I just write it down for me. Just something to remember by. Like what was the experience? And if the shape is very sharp, you can soften it, make it a gentle narrow line along the edges. Just make it more organic, not as rigid, not so firm. Just soften it. And the same about your birth name. If you want to soften your edges, you can go back and, of course, adjust it. If there is any story behind it, if there are any reasons why, if there's name is changed, is there any reason why you change this name? For me, for example, the story behind it is that I moved to another country. So that's why it sounds and look completely different. I got married. So I put my husband behind it, or event that happened. Okay. So I can put my husband. Or marriage. If you want marriage as a act, you can do the marriage. Like, see what is the most important for you, what is coming to you. And I put this USA as a country of this, that pronounce this name differently. How do you feel? How far is your name from the original? Emotionally, this is the emotional journey between two of them. And we are going to look at everything that is between them or on sides. Like mine is in opposite corner, but it doesn't have to be. Yours could be next to each other. It could be a loop, not the line. It could be a different journey. Just see how close they are to each other. Mine on like the as far as possible from each other. And I start rounding corners of all these crossings between my stories and my name. And now we are going to see if there are any other names are coming to us. We start from the childhood, from the early childhood, how your parents were naming you. And it could be different names. Your mom was naming you this way. It doesn't have to be like name. It doesn't have to be Katie. It could be, oh, my sunshine, or my, like, it could be nicknames as well. So start finding this place of all names that was you were called by. So we start with resources. So find your favorite names, something that is really helped you, encourage you, you felt loved. So find something that first remember first names, like give the place names that are nice to you, that you recognize as nice. And I start giving shapes. Your parents can give you different names. Your father could name you one way, your mom was naming differently. And they can give you different names. Your mom was probably, when you're nice and did something good, she named you one way, and when she was upset and angry at you for some reason, there could be different names. So you can give different representation, different names on your line, on your page. So this was, and I put the name. I recommend to write in your native language, because if it's not English, because the way you're writing it may awake something that's hidden. I was called Reliant, phone, a gentle name, but also Quicksilver because I was always full of energy. I loved it. Nice, nice memory. I was called, thank you for reminding me this one. I was called a dragonfly by my grandpa because I was full of energy and was jumping, especially when we were traveling. He said like, this will be the last travel you go with us. And so all these memories, and again, who gave the name? So bring them as resources as well. And what kind of emotions awakening? So I put the name and I put the emotion or my state. If you cannot identify the emotion, you can write down, my body is relaxed. Or I feel relaxed when somebody name me, give me such a name. So I will put relaxed here. And I really feel joy. If you don't remember who was naming you, you can say something like you can still put the shape of the person who named you this way, because there is no names in your memory if there was no people behind it. Somebody called you. It could be your friend, it could be, or maybe it was something that a different character in the book that was named the same as you, and it was just a variation that you loved it so much. So write down as many names as you remember that brings joy or maybe challenging emotions. We are going, the more we have powerful names, there is a beautiful saying that words have meaning and names have power. So we are going to awake this power to us and connect all this energy in one particular way. I wanted to tell you the story about China. You would expect that in China, there are many people who has the same name. And it's actually the opposite because people, the last names could be the same, but full name could be very unique. In 1 million of people, there could be only 2 people with exactly the same name. Because Chinese people have this beautiful tradition. They want to make a name unique, and they want the name be a protector, the guardian of the person. So they can go to astrologers and find which element of like their astrology is based on 5 elements, the same within system that we use in Neurogragraphica, and they look which element is missed, like we are lacking, or there is a deficit of element. So they use in name this element, like some beautiful thing like winter wind or sunrise lake. So they have a very poetic names, but mostly because they want to give this element as a protector for the child to balance their life and balance their elements. So this is I find it very fascinating because there is so many common names. Like you can, in US, you say Joe and half of the street will turn back. But if you, in China, even there are more than 1 billion people, the names will be very unique and different. So this is the story. We have a comma. My parents did not want me. I can only assume they threw and after my father's name, no other special names except pain in their Bum, my throat is tight and I feel sad. Okay, Carla. So again, they gave the name. You will be surprised how many people like waiting for months before naming babies. I have, and so they gave the name. So they recognize your existence. This is a very important. When mother or father named the child, they recognize their existence and they give them permission to live. So this is a very powerful ritual behind it. So if your shape is the spiky, do your catharsis in the shape. You remember what the catharsis means, like all the Scrabble, and start rounding. If you have a name, you have the right to live. I was reading a book about working with the babies, like a psychotherapist is working with the babies. And it's a very important for the baby to be named by parents, not just random people, but by parents. So if the parent gave the name, it's some kind of blessing. Even if it was thrown to you, it doesn't matter. It still be a recognition in your life. Yeah, so sorry, Carl, I was born in a war-torn Berlin among the bombs, but still felt loved, even so it was a scary time for me. Notice, Astrid, like that you were born in a challenging time. So you can bring the love and you can bring the bombing, because that's your story of your birth. This is the story of your existence. So don't afraid to bring challenging energies, because they can still give you the energy. They still give you the impulse to move forward. So you had already experienced such a war at the birth time. And again, don't afraid bring strong emotions, because you can always do the catharsis. If your shape is a very spiky or like very rigid, start softening, start rounding it, make it gentler to yourself, so you don't cut on the edge. Like you have this softness. Look at it from a different angle. My parents did not want me either. My real father was the son of my mother's husband by this first marriage. I thought he was my half brother until I was 43 old. He named me. Okay, so he named it, like bring him again. He recognized your existence. It's a very important. It's a so there's people behind you, behind your name, and they give you the resource. If they gave you name, they gave you some responsibility and they gave you the resource. Somebody was giving you, or from the beginning, it's a first thing that we receive in life. Name. If we cannot accept our name, it will be hard to accept anything else. So we need to accept it. First recognition of our uniqueness, I suppose. Yes. I'm thinking, yeah. And see, like if you bring the story behind your name, the nicknames, this, it's always give us some emotions, awakening emotions, because storytelling is the biggest value that our name may have. So now, if you be going from our parents, like I wrote here, I want to write my grandpa who named me this cute name Dragonfly, and interesting, it's square. And so I just bring people behind those names. Maybe there are some people who are naming you other names that you want to remember, that you want to carry on. Your friends, maybe your classmates. Classmates usually have mean names, but again, we are collecting the whole image of your emotions. We need to see how much we already experienced. So it motivates us to move forward and unlock emotions. We take, like if it's a painful emotions about something, for example, one of the person was a teacher in the school. She named me a very offensive name. And I give this shape as a star, like this horrible spiky star. And this was, like I write it in Russian, but the meaning was, like I was specifically, I was looking for the slang, and it's a like star, cornstalk, in slang, that somebody very tall and awkward shape. Because I was the tallest girl in the class, and she always called me names because her daughter was a teeny tiny and was afraid to grow. And it was very offensive for me. It makes me angry, and I put my anger here. I put it the emotions, my angry emotions, my anger here, and I start softening. And if the softening is not enough, if the emotion is too much, I can do the catharsis inside. And the catharsis actually may show you that emotions are bigger than the shape. It's even, the anger is bigger than I can recognize it, and it still be hidden there. So I can even make it bigger, because I want to see the real pain that this name caused me. And when I recognize the value, the power behind it, I put the person who named it. And I trust my body. Again, it's not about something logical. I trust, and it's interesting that the person who behind it is a very teeny tiny circle. It's my emotions are so big. My reaction is so big compared to the person. It's not like I minimize the value of the person. I don't have much emotions towards the person, but to this horrible name that I would angry at. And I soften it, and I like round all these corners. If there is any spike key lines, I can extend them. I stretch my anger, soften it, make it gentler. I can even extend this spikes, so I can, with nail lines, to release this anger to the edge of the paper. I don't want to keep it in my body anymore. In my memory, I let it go. This name still belongs to me, but I don't have such reaction. I don't want to give such reaction. I captured those angry nicknames in a shape. I labeled it every name in the book, which was an expression that referred to all the negative terms from mom. When you have this bulk of the names, choose when you have this like pile of something, it's very hard to deal with emotions. Like how we can eat an elephant, we need to do bite by bite. Try to remember at least something that is really emotional, something that you can be related to. And without defending yourself. Give it a shape, look at it, and let these emotions to be seen, recognized. If it's a anger, it could be anger. If it's a shame, give the place to your shame. If it's a sadness or loneliness or other emotions, strong emotions, like give them place. You still have like, you don't want to be one in the book. You don't want to be one in the crowd. We give each unique name a place, as many as you can remember. It doesn't have to be like 100 names. It could be 2, 3, but again, you start recognizing your emotions. This is the most important. It's not, the goal of this exercise is not to remember the pain, but to give the movement of this pain. Let it go through you and be released. Because you're still containing this anger and carry on. And this is what poisoning us. So we want to be healed. We want to let it go. And if it's too much, remember about your resource. You can always hold your resource next to you. This is your energy, supportive energy that helps you to move through painful experiences, through intense emotions. And I can hold my resource and I just let go. And I notice how faster I can round now. There's something shifting in me, like, yes, I can do it. I can let this anger go through me. It's actually surprised me very much that the emotions are much bigger than the person that is standing behind it. And it gives me, and it's my emotions. We are not talking like what felt another person when they named it. We don't care about it. It's not our responsibility to worry about their emotions. Like what my reaction, this is my anger. And I'm letting it go, and I let it to be recognized and experienced. And just let it go. The shape as a final result can be very beautiful. We don't know what we will have at the end. If the emotion was too intense, still be very intense, you can always ask yourself, what kind of need wasn't recognized at that time and wasn't satisfied? My need. What did I wanted? Why? And it was did not receive at that time that made me feel this way. Maybe my need was I wanted to be protected, and I recognized this need. I wanted to be protected. I was looking for protection, and I put it as a need, as a recognition of the need behind this feeling, behind this name. And just start integrating. And I can protect myself now. Now I can let, will not allow people talk to me this way. I give myself this protection. I was sometimes called Weird Linda or Bird Legs. Good, put those names as well. Weird Linda. Or like, how does it make you feel? What's the shape of this name? It's interesting that as a child, I was never weird. I was always focused and did what I supposed to do. But when I turned 40, more and more people start calling me weirdo. So, so I can give myself this shape, the name, as a weirdo. And where does weirdo belong? This weirdo will belong. And it's interesting that this offensive name wants to be a circle. Weirdo. And it's interesting, it makes me laugh. Yours could be different because it's your emotions behind your name. It could be similar name, but its reaction is different. Who are those people who naming me? I just put them behind. And use those people as a resource, as a motivation to move forward in life. I give them place so I can use the energy. That not the energy, not that I take anything from them. This is the only energy that they give me by naming this name. You see, like if they name us, they give us impulse. This is the event that gives us impulse to move forward, and I accept this impulse. I don't want to waste this energy. They like when they give it, they have their generosity to give this impulse. I accept it. Another thing that could be like if you had so many names, you can look at it and see like, wow, I'm so different. People recognize so different sides of me. I could be anything. And if the child had strengths to move through these emotions as and still be survived them, as an adult, we can do anything. We can be recognize this power that the child was carrying on to deal with those names. Okay. You can remember like how, like when you're maybe in love, or somebody loved you, or somebody liked you, what the name they called you. Maybe they called you some baby, or they called you, I don't know, the honey or bunny or monkey. When I pay attention to names people call each other, it's like the whole zoo. You can name it. So don't afraid to bring those animals with you because they give you energy as well. And people who named you this way. I just wanted to mention that like the fact that every tradition, religious tradition, cultural traditions has this their own rituals around the names. And in religion, when you're going to the spiritual life, like if you're becoming a monk, you usually receive a new name. And this is could be powerful as well. Or when you in Russia, when you baptized, you receive a new name, and it should be related to some kind of saint. So if you have any saint guardian, you can invite this guardian and place the guardian at the most challenging time for you. Like which area of this drawing it belongs. Like, for example, I have this guardian of Saint Anna. And I want to bring her here. If you are not religious, maybe there are some characters in the book or in the movie that has the same power, the same name, and you associate or you want to be like this person, that because they are powerful, they have this energy, you can invite them as your guardian. You can invite them as a resource for you on the drawing, wherever you feel you need them. Just as an invitation, we don't have to force anybody, but we can always invite them and see how big this resource is for you. And it's a funny thing that I remember that my name, this person who named me this offensive, angry name, her daughter has exactly the same name as I am. She was Anna as well. And it's like interesting that when I invited the Saint Anna, it supported me and it supported the person who named me. So how it's unite us in it, because for the saint doesn't have good or bad people, or they just love everybody. So I invited. Is there any name that you always want to be named? Maybe sometime there was a different name, something magical or something more profound, more royal for some people. Give the place to this name. Which name you wanted to be called? Maybe this name had a title like Queen something, or Fairy something. Like, let this be seen. Let be this recognized on your drawing. Give it a shape. Give it, recognize the emotion that is holding this name, and place, shape, and emotion. And pay attention how this name, how's your body reacts to this name. And so any other names, like if you have any questions, it could be, again, the childhood, like very early childhood, your family, how's your grandparents are naming you. The sisters, brothers could be very mean, and they could give you some funny names. So let them be experienced, like here. Let those emotions be expressed on your drawing. And bring your siblings behind them. Maybe you can even recognize that it was a special time in their life when they named you this way, that they stopped naming you this way. Sometimes the name is a baby. Like everybody calls you baby, even you're like 50, 60 years old, but because you're youngest in the family, everybody still call you baby. Bring this name, bring this nickname for you here. Recognize the place, recognize this title. This privilege to be a baby. And emotions hidden behind it. Maybe there is a name that maybe nobody named you, but you don't want to be named this way. Especially it's for long names like Elizabeth, and some call you Liz, some call you Beth, some call you full name Elizabeth. So, but there is some variation that you know for sure, like I hate this, like I don't want it to be named. In Russia, we have so many variations for one name. Like my name is a very simple Anna, and I still have about 20 variations how to be named. I could be Anya, Anyuta, Anichka, Annushka, Nyura, Nyusia. So all of them I recognize as variations of my name. And I know that one of them is like, I just hate. If anyone called me this way, it's like we are not going to talk anymore, or it will be a big lecture about why you cannot call me this way. So I see that emotional charge behind it, and I bring this name, bring on my paper, because this is something that I avoiding. And I avoid only something that has an emotional charge, negative emotional charge for me. So this will be here, and I put it here. And I don't remember if anyone tried to name it this way, but there is always some kind of associations behind it. And I put this association as a different shape or recognize it as an emotion. And it's interesting, like when I wrote down the association, now I remember who named me this way. Notice how it's like unfolding. So this story could be unfolding. So I put this person behind. And I just recognize it. And now I can remember, like now I understand why I don't like this person so much. why I don't trust this person. I try to avoid to contact with it. Like you see how it's like the whole dynamics could be revealed. And it's only related to variation of the name. I'm really sorry, I will have to watch the rest on recording. Thank you, everything so far. And okay, so Michelle, like before you go sleep or rest, try to round all these corners on your drawing. So don't let it sit sharp on so you can make it softer, settle emotions that are already awakened. Okay, how's everyone doing? Remember, we have a resource. We still have energy to go through intense emotions. Oh, thank you. Okay, good. Kate. Carla, how you doing? I just had a breakthrough. My name means strong beginning. I did not have a strong beginning, but I am now having a strong beginning. Wow. Beautiful realization. And thank you for reminding me, because the names could be has a meaning. There are it could be meaning in your culture. There are many names that representing flowers, that representing some virtues, that representing some the root that representing some meaning. Like, for example, German names has a very strong names, and the root Bert representing bright. So if you have a Robert or Albert, it's something bright, something smart and with strong, powerful energies. So you can look at the origins of your names, and this could be bringing you some resources as well. And the meanings, for example, I like my name is representing grace and favor. I don't, the grace does not resonate much with me, but favor. So this is I recognize as emotional reactions to this meaning, and I put it wherever it belongs. So I want this favor be here. So you can have this meaning as a resource, again, as a resource, strong beginning. Give this strong beginning place on your drawing. Where is this beginning? And it could be next to your present name, or maybe you want to give it this baby. There is no timeline on our drawing. Everything happening right now, because emotions doesn't have expiration date, or they don't have a time. They happening right now. Like if I'm angry at somebody, I'm angry right now. If I feel the abandonment as a baby, I feel it right now. So you can put a strong beginning at any place where you want it as a resource to you right now, to your baby, to you at any point in your life, because this is your life. This is your portrait. More names may come to you later. Of course, if you got married like 5 times and changed your names, or had different nicknames from different husbands or boyfriends, you can put them here. You may recognize that, like, you still remember one of them, and other don't have much emotions, but one of them could be very emotional, very powerful for you. So we are awakening those emotions and let them move through us. We don't want to be like pockets of unpleasant emotions stored in our body. My second marriage ended in divorce, but the last name was not. One thing I liked from that time is the last name. So Astrid Nod, Star in the Night, which I love. Yeah, give it name. One of the reasons why I married my husband, because I loved his last name. And there is a story that his mother really did not want to change her last name. And I was like, I could not understand this woman. The last name compared to her maiden name is so beautiful. Why? Why? So like we are different. We have different things motivate us, and name may motivate us. I had 4 names and kept the last one, but it is not my favorite. Put the favorite one. Recognize this was a resource for you. This was could be your resource right now. Like, oh, I had this name. Maybe some people can do, like, not some people, like there could be some resources behind your mother's maiden name. And if you feel that this is something that you always want to be recognized, or this the name that was meaningful for you, you can put it here and attach the whole lineage behind this name, the whole family behind this name. Like if there's any famous people named with you, or maybe you have a street in your city that has the same name or last name that you have, you can use it as a resource as well. Okay. The interesting story that when in my hometown, I had the street near in my neighborhood that it has exactly the same last name as I used to have. So I was so proud that there is a, and everybody was just saying like, this is the street of this last name. So I was like, there is a street of my name. When I got married and had my husband's last name, we moved to another city. There was no my maiden name street in that city, but there was a street that had the last name of him. So I have, this is meaningful for me. I don't know why, it doesn't make much sense, but it's emotional for me to have, there are some famous people that has done something valuable, so the people still remember their names. And I'm somehow belong to this lineage that carry on this name. So this is meaningful for me. See if it's meaningful, something different, meaningful for you. Astrid Lindgren, author of Pippi, yeah, Longstocking, that character made into a puppet. Yeah. So this you can use Astrid as a resource. Use her imagination, writing skills. Be it here, present it on your. Remember, if there is any traditions in your culture, maybe some, for example, in Russia, we have this, we don't have middle name, but we have the father's name. So we always carry on the father name with us. And in America, there is no such analogy. There is only maiden name. Not maiden, only middle name. But in your culture, it could be completely different. In some cultures, the last name given by mothers. So see if there is any stories, any cultures that could be your resource. And when you put all your names as you remember, the recognized emotions, maybe soften them some a little bit. Choose the name on your drawing that you love the most, that you recognize as like your body softened, you relaxed. This is something that you want to be named. Maybe not on every day, but at least you want it to be somebody called you this name. Just choose one name that you want to be called. This could be your full name with the last name, or just a nickname that you feel like you're missing this. This is something that you want. If there is no such name, think about it and place this name here. Some your favorite. And if you would like to share with us, this would be nice. My favorite name is Anyuta. So this is a variation of Anna in Russian. I would like to be named Maria de las Flores. Put it here, yes. So look at it, like find the shape that representing this name on your drawing. I like it when my adult daughter calls me mama, mama. Yes, find it on your drawing. So this is the shape. Wait, where is my, oh, here it is. This is my shape almost dissolved. So this is the name that I recognize, and I feel like this is something that my heart is melting when I hear it. And just say out loud, Mama, или Maria de las Flores. I call it Anyuta. Feel it. This is a resource that you can use, and you, whenever you want to motivate you to do something or go through the challenging times, you can call yourself this way. You can call yourself this beautiful, gentle, recognizable name, meaningful, emotional name for you. And we use it as an anchor. And every energy from other names, good or challenging or inspiring or imaginable names, we start bringing the energy through each shape to this particular name, from all corners, through people, through names they gave us, to this particular shape. Like rays of sun, we are collecting the energy. We are bringing this resources towards us through challenging names, through our anger, upset, grief, maybe. We are moving it toward this name, something that we want to be called. And I understand that my name, nobody will call me because this is a childish name. This is not for daily life, for adult women. But I still can name myself. I can name myself this way. When I want to praise myself or when I want to motivate myself to do something, I can call myself Anyuta. Maybe yours is something that as an adult, you can introduce yourself this way to other people and say like, you know, my favorite name is such and such, or I really enjoy when you call me this way. And notice that when somebody calls you this way, awakening all resources at the same time. You're collecting in some positive way all your whole emotional portrait. Because energy cannot be positive and negative. This is our reaction. This is our the way we see it. But we are just needing energy. We are like to move forward, to achieve big goals, or maybe just be strong sometimes. face some changes in life. And we are awakening resources. Every name, like positive and negative, become very resourceful. What I noticed on my drawing, that this anger at the bottom, grounding the whole drawing. It's really like make it stronger, make it very strong foundation to the drawing. Notice what gives you foundation, what gives you grounding. Okay. And if you need more lines, if you need to extend corners to the edge of the paper, please, you can use the narrow lines to soften it, to integrate it. Maybe you notice that some people or some names completely dissolved on your drawing. But the name that is your favorite, you can ask yourself, do you want to change the shape? Do you want to change the size? How powerful it's become when you brought so much energy from different sources. Mine is like almost dissolved, but I feel how it's growing. So I allow myself to draw this bigger circle. It was a quite abstract shape, and I want to make it more visible. And it's interesting that the shape is very close to the bottom, so it's really gives me support, something something that I can rely on, grounding. If yours on the top, maybe this is the name that will inspire you. See what kind of feelings you have when it's growing. This is me recognizing this name. When I did this class with when I was taking course working with children, we did not bring people behind. And I felt like I want people on my drawing. I want to remember people who were naming me. So this is, and I still feel that they belong here. Because it's not just to the name, it's to who named you, when named them you. And I want to remember them. Okay. How's your shape? Did you increase the shape that your favorite name, or it was already good enough? Maybe the shape has changed. How do you feel? We're going to do some. You keep rounding, and we will. I'll go through all other steps, so you can complete it later, but know what to do. There's all steps that Neurogragraphica does, any drawing. If you have any questions. And I just noticed that I'm still holding my resource in my hand. Like I don't want to let it go. That's a In May, I was participating in the constellation work, and the whole constellation was about naming a baby, the baby that was found on the field, and nobody knew the parents, but how this name was carried on from generation to generation. This was another meaningful and powerful experience about names. If you feel like somebody called you some special title like Dr. Larson, let's say, like Dr. somebody, like, and it's part of your life, and you feel that this is meaningful for you, you can bring your titles here as well. I was surprised that there's quite a few families still carry on this, the third, the second, the juniors, seniors of names, when this first child carry on the name of the father. I thought this is only for royalty, but other people do it, and it's quite often. So if there's any meaning for you there, you can recognize it here. Look at your drawing if there is any shape that's still standing out for you, and it has a hard time to process the emotions. You can invest a little bit more time to dissolve it, add more narrow lines to let it be softened, because we want this, especially painful shapes, give it a movement, pass on the energy, that the energy enters the shape and go through the shape. It doesn't stagnate it there. It's not stopped. Okay. As always, I have like a million lines and corners. And if you ask your friends, your family members about their names, you can hear like very unique and beautiful stories, and you can learn a lot about people, what they still carry on with them. Like, you see how it's emotional and meaningful for you. It's emotional and meaningful for everyone. It doesn't matter in which circumstances they were born, there'll still be some stories. Funny, sad, or horrifying stories sometimes. This is your opportunity to learn a little bit more about people and about yourself. When you round everything, we as well start coloring. And if you want to intensify the flow, you can bring the flows of colors to this particular name that you like the most, that you connect it to all other resources. Why we brought to this positive name? Because we want this energy to be recognized as a positive. We want to give it the specific charge to this energy. So we can absorb it, we can take it, we can use it. Does anyone has, Cynthia, do you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to ask you about changing a name. Like I would, if you see my last name is Fales, and that just doesn't ring right with me. besides, there's a lot of personal stuff involved in this family, but I know it would hurt my husband if, well, I wouldn't do it, but because it'd be too painful for him. Can I draw neural lines and dissolve it on the
You
paper?
can, yes, you can dissolve it, or you can bring the lineage that is standing behind his last name.
How's that?
Because, yeah, you can bring the lineage, the family behind his last name, and connect through the dissolving. You can connect to them as well.
His lineage?
His lineage, yes,
Why would I want to do that?
because you are carrying on their last name,
Yeah.
and you can use them as a resource.
Okay.
Even
Alright.
like
I got a big block with that, so I need help with unblocking that. I don't want to be connected to them. I want to be connected to my husband, but not them.
but he is coming with the whole package.
I know. Okay.
You can do catharsis in the circle that representing his lineage.
Okay. So just
And
draw.
release.
How do I do the lineage? Just circles.
So yes, like wherever you have last name that you don't like it or don't want to change, draw the shape that representing his lineage, his family. And there is, of course, at least one person in his family who carries on the same last name that could be recognized as a good, powerful, inspiring person. It's
Okay.
like he has hundreds people behind him.
All right.
So you can use them like, and you can just do the catharsis in their lineage. It's not about like, I want to fix them so I can like them. You release the blockage, emotional blockage to connect to them.
That's what I want. Okay. All
Anna,
right.
yeah, Anna, how do I do this in my first marriage, which was a physically emotional abusive marriage, but I have two wonderful children from that marriage. So how do I deal with that?
So of course, like you, even if you don't want it, if it's a painful, we need to recognize the person who gave you this last name, your husband who was abusive and all, and do the catharsis there.
So, okay, so I can still do the catharsis right on here now.
Yes, you can do the catharsis at any point. At any point where it's too emotional for you.
Yeah.
And because your husband, with all the story behind him, it still be children carry on the same last name. So you will recognize this last name every day when you communicate with them. So you need to have this neutral emotions around this name. So you don't impose, you don't imprint his energy to them. So you need to be very neutral to the last name that they are carrying on.
But they have a different last name, both of them.
Do they carry on? They're like his, like they still be your children. He still be the father of your children. So
and he's not alive anymore.
It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Like we are not working with dead people, or like some of the people are like dead on my drawing as well. We are working with our emotional imprinting, with our own blockage around us. And if I still have emotionally recognized, like this last name, like brings shiverings along my spine, or some disgusting, and this is like, wow, this was horrible time in my life. Do the catharsis, bring resources. What kind of resources you have? You can other people. It could be your family as well as a resource. Maybe this person whose name you are carrying on right now, could be your resource. And we are going to add colors, and we are going to add field lines that universe support us as well.
Yeah, that's been helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. It's a very important. Yeah, again, like we are not trying to awaken the pain. We want to release the pain so it's not carrying on anymore.
Yes. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Any other challenges?
Well, in my second marriage, and the name Note is the one I kept because I like it, but nothing else about that relationship.
You can just draw the shape of the name, last name Note, and just gratitude, like gratitude for giving this name. Like, okay, there is nothing much to be excited, but still be. This is meaningful for you that you decided to keep it.
Yeah, well, I do a gratitude journal, and I did a gratitude journal plus the Neurogragraphica for 29 days. And it is interesting that did not come up. So that means I really feel I need to go back and then just do the writing of the gratitudes to do with that, to dissolve some of that.
You can do it here. Like the gratitude, there is never too late or too early to say the word gratitude. So you can write like even in the shape, like the feeling, if it's recognized as a gratitude, you can do it here. And this will be enough probably, unless you want to do something extra.
Yeah. Oh, that is so valuable. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. As you see how much power the names have, how they connect us to so many people.
Yes, I mean, I have worked with that for a while anyhow, but this has been really, that's been really powerful.
Because this, we make it visible. It's not just on the level of our understanding and knowing, it's actually, we make it visible. Like, okay, so this is spiky. I can recognize how angry I am at this person or at this name particular, or I can feel blessed or grateful for some other names, and how like the squares usually gives us some structure, they give us some grounding, the circles more harmonized, the triangles more dynamic and energizing, spikes like maybe aggressive energy. And at the same time, so we have all of them, and they are not just separate elements, they are not just separate meanings to us. We connect them to the whole story about our life. We connect ourselves like from different parts. Yes, I was married once, I was married twice, I was married third, but I like this last name like in the middle of my marriages. And it still be, I don't minimize the meaning of first and third marriage, but I connect, I recognize the priorities, like I recognize emotions, and I still be connected to everything that I experienced. So this is connectedness to other people and wholeness of myself. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Thank you, Astrid. Okay, so I'm going, because we have this not so much time left for the session, but I'm going to start coloring. Like my drawing, I will spend more time to color around it later, but I need to start coloring. And again, which colors do you want to be on your drawing? Like, is it trust your intuition, trust like what is coming to you? Does it want to be something gentle or something very bright, very contrast emotions, feelings? Don't hesitate to add them. We start coloring. And I, or like on my drawing, I feel like I want to bring this emotional flow to this name that I recognize as the biggest, my favorite one. And I want to be named as often as possible by this name, at least by myself. My inner child wants to be named by this name. And it makes my inner child happy. Your name could be very adult and not about the inner child. It could be about the present time, how much, which way you want to be named right now. You can use pencils, or you can use highlighters, or actually any media that you want to color. Traditionally, the Neurographika is colored by pencils or markers. Pavel Piskarev loves highlighters, but I see that sometimes when this very early traumatized experiences are revealed, watercolors could be helpful. They helps us to dissolve and go to this early stage of our childhood and find the softness, find like dissolve the edges, dissolve this stories behind it. But again, it's not traditional way. I'm feel that Neurographika is about freedom and freedom from limitations. And if you feel that this is something that needs to be done on your drawing, you can experience it. It's your way to express emotions. So you don't need to ask anybody's permission to do it. Especially when we working with something very meaningful for us, like so emotional. So this is like we can use any materials, any resources that we can have to process it. It's nobody's business but yours. So it's again, which colors you want to use, which shapes, it's our decision. It's our freedom and it's our power to change the way we want. Visual representation of our emotions. And when you're satisfied with your emotions, with your drawing, we have this message to our neuron system that, okay, everything is harmonized, everything has its own place, everything is connected. It gives us a lot of support. My is interesting. My drawing become very childish. The colors, shapes. And I like it that it's not, it's a happy child who had the chance to experience different emotions and feelings. And just pay attention how people name you, how they call you. Because it's how do you react? What kind of emotions it's awakening inside of you? Because it's interesting that the child, if you are calling the child with the name that he hates or he doesn't like, he cannot even hear you. He will be blocking your message, like, this is not about me, like, no, you are not calling me, this is somebody else. So it's very interesting how people react consciously and subconsciously to names. So you can pay attention how you name and call your people in your life. Just recognize the meaningful, the power behind it. Okay, so I added some colors. And next step for me, and of course, if you're still rounding, don't rush, like you can do it step by step. I just want to show you, remind you all the steps of Neurogragraphica. And the next step, I do the field lines. For me, the field lines, I want to move the energy. So I collected so much energy in the name that I want to be called. This is a powerful resource for me. And now I want to enhance my whole life, any name that I'm called ever, with the universal resource and with this positive charge that I recognize. This name is my name, and I can use this as a inspiration to be positive about any name that I was called or will be called, including weirdo and other funny names. Because I know that in my deep inside, I'm still be this Anuta, this name that I'm comfortable with. If you feel that your lines want to move a different direction, you can trust yourself and enhance them, highlight them. So this is almost like a tree is growing for me. Like, yes, when my inner child is happy, everybody is happy, including people behind those names. Including people. And after adding field lines, we always go along them and integrate. We soften corners. We make them gentle integration of powerful, bold lines in the drawing. Release this forcing and Just invite this support. Because when this energy could be very aggressive, and we wanted everything to be gentle to ourselves. Like, first of all, we want to be gentle to ourselves. And you can feel like, try to call yourself this your favorite name. How does it resonate in your body? And you can ask your husband, like, which name is his favorite. So maybe maybe you call him for 40 years the name that he hated. So it will be an opportunity for you to learn something about dear people who are very dear and important to us. This is the first time my name has meaning to me. And this has followed the path I have been on since starting Neurogragraphica. I am so happy. Carla, it's a very important message. Yeah. Notice that it's not just name it has meaning, but the whole life has a meaning. Everybody who came to you, challenging, not challenging, like supporting. There is a place to all of them, and it still shape you. It still give creates your own part of how you see yourself and where's your emotions are focused. So thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so brave to tell your story behind your name. And I'm always happy that we have so many people who can witness strong emotions and strong stories and be supportive, gentle in this process. This is a beautiful community to remember challenging times, but looking forward. Okay, any questions about drawing, about maybe your particular drawing? Well, so I have this field lines, and of course, we are going to do this important fixation, or like there are so many names now for this process, like the which shape you want to highlight. It could be the shape that your favorite name, but maybe for you, after you connected everything, after you bring the support of the universe and brought more emotions, colors to your drawing, maybe something else wants to be remembered. Maybe something else that is has your attention and focus. So you can highlight any element on your drawing, any shape, or create a new shape that you want to highlight. Maybe the new boundaries of the name, like new size, new shape. So this is your choice. This is your priorities, what you want to remember from this experience. So and if you don't have like logical explanations, like this doesn't have to be logical. You look at your drawing and see what is coming to you forward, what you want to recognize. If it's hard to see on the drawing, you can look through the your phone, through the camera on your phone, and it gives you completely different perception, and some new shapes can come to you. Another option that like you can close a little bit your eyes, like you're looking at a sun, move your drawing forward like straight arms, and look what is coming to you, which shape is jumping and asking for your attention. You can highlight this shape. So for me, there's no surprises. I double check. I'm looking at the camera on the image on my laptop, how I see it. I'm looking on my drawing through the hands, and I still see that this name, my favorite name, the way I want to be called, and first of all, called by myself. I want to highlight it. I want to make it bolder. And of course, we are going over it and rounding, integrating, softening edges, because I want it to be gently connected, but not overwhelming, not to be overwhelmed. Another thing that I noticed, like the moment I connected everything, I was able to let go my resource, but I was holding it very tight before. So this is another message that like something important happened today, something that was released, recognized. I'm much more relaxed and empowered through the process. So how do you feel? Okay, empowered, harmonized, good. Okay. The stress in the name is a different topic, how we pronounce names, because it could be even just looking at some common name, Mary, but it could be Mary, Marie, Maria. And so it's always interesting, like hear how different it's. Just pronunciation could be a representation of the whole cultural tradition behind it. Different ways. So if I pronounce your names incorrectly, so please forgive me. You can do catharsis about it. Okay, stronger. I let go of my childhood lamps. Yeah, good. Because you bring the power to the present time, bring the energy to the present time. So this is like some big topics. Again, it's maybe you decide to repeat it. If you have some name and some stories that were awakening today, and you know that it's like too much to process completely, you can always come back and do this just algorithm of releasing limitations about this particular side of the story or this particular name with a big catharsis on the whole page, and work with this deeper. If you find something that is needs to be addressed with therapy, you can always find specialists with working with this as well. But this is a good start, and I hope that we are finishing this drawing with a good relaxed state. Have a message. My given name is Patricia. I have always thought it was beautiful, but never had the confidence to be called that. I've always gone by Pat. I feel like I want to start using Patricia now. Good start, Patricia. Yeah. You always need to start somewhere. And the first step is really recognizing that this is meaningful for me. This is important. Okay, so we did the fixation, and the new step in Neurogragraphica is called style. And how you can unify and really connect all elements, that they all harmonized in this the thickness of lines, the shape that you highlighted, the colors maybe want to be more integrated. So see what is coming to you, like how you can adjust. Like for me, I see that like when I look, like I notice that this is the interrupted, so there is some interruption of colors. So I want to bring a little bit more integration for colors here. Some shading to make it softer. Okay, so we have only a few minutes left. Please let me know what was the most meaningful for you. How do you feel right now? And if you have any questions, we still have a few minutes to answer it. The link to the video will be in your account, and you will have access to this video to watch it again, or maybe to draw it again. So don't, this will be available for you shortly after the class is over. And what else? What else did I want to say? Keep drawing. Keep learning something new about yourself and express yourself. Like this is, again, everything that is related to self-expression, related to your names, related to your face, to your body, to the clothes that you're wearing, to the cards that you're drawing. Everything is related to your self-expression. Could be emotional, and we need to make sure that stories behind it and strong feelings has the movement and has the peace with this, like the harmony and balance in it. Okay, so at the end, the topic number 2, you can ask yourself if you want to go deeper in some particular names and the relationship with people who named you. Or this would be the best algorithm, would be the algorithm releasing limitation with shapes, if it's about relationship, or if you want just let go emotions, the algorithm of releasing limitations, just the type number 1 would be a good option. If you feel that the next couple days, the new names are coming to you, and you want to give them place, you can always place them on top of your drawing, draw the shape wherever you feel is belonging, and integrate them, round corners, bring more lines. There is never too late to add elements and lines to your drawing. So this is always appropriate for Neurographika. Okay, so I think that I'm done with the information I wanted to deliver to you today. So if you have any questions, like please let me know. Like I will take my notes if I was and just I wanted to mention one thing, that like people see us differently. That's why they name us differently. But it's very important to remember how we see ourselves and how we introduce ourselves to the world. So this is the resource that we are looking for to understanding something important about ourselves. And let people live with their stories and their emotions. So I hope that you will use this favorite name for yourself. Maybe at the morning when you wake up, you can say like, okay, Anuta, it's a new day, let's do it. And it will bring you resources of people who loved you. And first of all, that you love yourself. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot for being here. I accept all your thanks. This is a very important class that I wanted to show you. The next class, we are going to work with the team, my team, and what we recognize as our resources in our support, and people. It could be people, it could be animals, it could be energies. So we are going to work with more resources, and it's such a drastic time of changes. We need as many resources as possible. So we will work with the team. This was lovely and so powerful. Thanks. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being so open and share your stories, share your names, share your emotions with us. So have a great day. And I'll see you next month on Saturday for another class. Have a good day. Bye.